You know that person who never posts on social media, who deflects every personal question with a joke, who's been your friend for years, yet you realize you don't actually know much about them. Here's what most people get wrong. They're not cold. They're not hiding something dark. And they're definitely not judging you for being more open. They're just deeply private. And there's fascinating psychology behind why some people guard their inner world like it's Fort Knox. What's up, everyone? You're watching Learniq Psychology. In a world where oversharing has become the norm, where people broadcast their breakfasts, breakups, and breakdowns, the deeply private person stands out like a Rolls Royce among cars. Whether you're a private person trying to understand yourself, or know someone who is a private person and wants to get closer to them, this video will give you real insights backed by psychology and research. So let's dive into the mind of the deeply private person. What does deeply private actually mean? First, let's clear something up. Being private isn't the same as being shy or introverted. Dr. Elaine Aron's research on highly sensitive persons shows that about 30% of introverts are actually quite socially outgoing. Similarly, private people can be quite social, but they won't tell you much about them. A deeply private person has strong psychological boundaries around their inner world. It's like they have got such rooms in their mental house that they are very selective about who can tour them. Here's a relatable example. Imagine someone asks, "How was your weekend?" Most people might say, "Great, went hiking, had brunch, binged a new show." A private person might say, "Good, relaxing," and genuinely feel they've answered the question. They're not being evasive. They just don't see why someone needs the full itinerary of their life. The psychology behind privacy. So what makes someone deeply private? It's usually a combination of nature and nurture. The personality factor. Private people have what psychologists call a prevention focus rather than a promotion focus. Research by Columbia psychologist Tori Higgins shows that prevention-focused people are more cautious, protective, and risk-averse. Sharing personal information feels risky to them. The childhood connection. Here's where it gets really interesting. Studies found that many deeply private adults had one of two childhood experiences. First, they grew up in environments where their privacy was repeatedly violated. Maybe they had intrusive parents who read their diaries or demanded to know everything, so they learned to build walls. Second, they grew up in emotionally reserved families where vulnerability wasn't modeled. They never learned that sharing your inner world is safe or even normal. The control element. There's also a control factor. Psychologist Sidney Giroud, who pioneered research on self-disclosure, found that sharing personal information creates vulnerability. For private people, controlling what others know about them provides a sense of psychological safety. Think about it. Every piece of information you share is something that can be judged, misunderstood, or used against you. Private people aren't paranoid. They're just acutely aware of this reality. The modern challenge. Being private in 2025 is harder than ever, and there's real psychological cost to this. Social media has created what researchers call context collapse, where all your audiences merge into one. Private people feel this acutely. They're not posting because they can't calibrate their disclosure. What's appropriate for close friends isn't appropriate for distant relatives and coworkers. But on social media, everyone sees the same thing. Private individuals experience more anxiety around social media than their more open counterparts. Not because they fear technology, but because the platforms are designed around the assumption that sharing is caring. And there's pressure. If you're not documenting your life, did it even happen? If you don't share your opinions, do you even have them? Private people constantly navigate a world that mistakes their discretion for disengagement. Practical takeaways. All right, let's make this useful. Whether you're private yourself or you're trying to understand someone who is, if you're a deeply private person, your privacy is valid. You don't owe anyone access to your inner world, but make sure your privacy isn't becoming isolation. There's a difference between being selective and being shut down. Consider this. Research from UCLA shows that appropriate self-disclosure actually reduces stress and increases well-being. You don't have to broadcast everything, but having someone you can be real with matters for your mental health. Practice what I call strategic disclosure. Share small things intentionally to build connection without feeling exposed. If you want to understand someone who is deeply private, don't take their privacy personally. When they don't share, it's okay. Nothing wrong with that. Show up consistently without demanding disclosure. Private people open up through demonstrated safety over time, not through interrogation. Respect their boundaries, but keep showing interest. Ask questions, but don't pressure answers. The message you want to send is, "I'm here whenever you're ready, and I'm not going anywhere." When they do share something personal, honor it. Don't gossip about it, don't probe for more immediately, and don't treat it like you've finally broken through. Just receive it with respect. Here's the thing about deeply private people. In a world of oversharing, They're reminders that not everything needs to be public to be real, that some things are more powerful when they're held close, that mystery, boundaries, and restraint aren't character flaws, they're different ways of being human. This quote is widely attributed online to the famous psychologist Carl Jung. The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. For private people, part of becoming who they truly are involves protecting who they truly are. So here's my question for you. In a world that constantly asks us to share more, be more open, be more visible, if you're a deeply private person, how do you feel about it? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to like and subscribe. Your little support on Patreon can really help me produce more amazing content. Until next video, keep learning.